The most anticipated film out of Cannes this year for me was Lee Chang-dong's Burning. His previous works such as Poetry and Secret Sunshine are definitely among some of my favorite Korean films I've ever seen, and I'll gladly put his name in the same list with such acclaimed filmmakers as Park Chan-wook, Na Hon-jing, Bo Joon-ho, Kim Ji-won, and even Kim Ki-duk, because I'm a firm believer in that we have to separate the art from the artist. However, what distinguishes Lee Chang-dong from all other directors and why I personally put him on such high pedestal is the way he sort of gradually unravels the human psychology in his films. Just based on the titles I mentioned, both Secret Sunshine and Poetry thoroughly explore the subjects of grief, family, and the way different people cope with traumas. And in that, I'd say Burning is a bit of a deviation from what I'm used to seeing from Lee Chang-dong. Going into my first screening, I thought I knew what to expect. I've seen all of the 5 previous directors' works, and I've actually read the Haruki Murakami short story Barn Burning that the film is based on. Turns out, no, I didn't know what to expect at all, because not only does the film have a very loose connection to the short story, but it's also a very different, I would say more accessible film from Lee Chang-dong. So the story is, a struggling writer named Jeon-soo one day comes across his long-lost childhood friend Haimi. He doesn't remember her at first, but after a series of long conversations, he gets interested in her. During one of their cafe confessions, Haimi tells Jeon-soo that she saved up enough money to go to Africa, which she soon does, but when she comes back, she also brings a new friend Ben, a mysterious, charming, well-off young man with a very strange hobby. I was highly impressed with Burning for multiple reasons. At first glance, and as I said prior to this, I honestly thought that it's a very different work from Lee Chang-dong. After all, it's a genre film, a mystery thriller that's actually more in line with, I would say, very visual, character-driven Italian dramas of the 60s. Think Michelangelo Antonioni or Federico Fellini. However, the more I looked into Burning, the more I started to realize why Lee Chang-dong chose this exact material, and just how similar the underlying subjects are to his earlier works. Just like in Peppermint Candy, we see a man who has a troubled relationship with the society and the government, how his life is being suppressed by the problems he faces as a lower-class citizen, essentially a blue-collar worker in a small Korean city. What's fascinating to me is that the director himself doesn't take any particular stance in this conflict. He doesn't empathize with the character, nor does he really criticize him. He just studies the character's motivations while at the same time bringing more attention to important social issues. Burning is a very patient film, which ironically requires patience from its viewer as well. It's 2.5 hours long, but not a single minute or even a moment feels unnecessary or insignificant. The film is extremely subtle in its depiction of frustration and rage, even when its characters are overflowing with emotions. It's a slow-burning, laboriously crafted character study that gradually increases the tension while slowly unfolding its multiple mysteries, until it finally reaches its boiling point when the film just ends. It's an interesting approach compared to other contemporary slow-burn thrillers, where the structure doesn't rely on the climax to answer or leave the viewer with questions, but instead provoke a discussion. Stylistically, I think the film is also a remarkable achievement. The cinematography is gorgeous and slick. There are a lot of long takes which really help the intense narrative. The music is absolutely perfect. It's unnerving in the best sense of the word, and the soundtrack certainly enhances the chilling atmosphere. During a couple of scenes, the director also plays with colors and light to signify the emotional condition of the characters, but it is done so softly and unobtrusively that you can't help but admire Lee Chang-dong's attention to detail and dedication to craft. Fundamentally, Burning touches a lot of subjects, both personal and political. In the film, envy and obsession go hand in hand with income disparity and economic inequality. But honestly, it would be such a disservice to this film to boil it down to just those things. It's a beautiful example of multi-layered storytelling, a captivating thriller that will leave you thinking long after you're done watching it. I'm giving Burning 4.5 out of 5 stars and my utmost recommendation. It's a brilliant, exhilarating watch, and one I don't think you will forget anytime soon. That's it from me. Thank you for watching. If you've seen Burning already, then tell me down in the comments below what you thought of it. I would love to discuss it. Personally, I've watched it twice already, and I feel like I have a couple of things that I need to digest and definitely talk about. If you liked the video, then please give this video a like, and also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more reviews from me. Until next weekend, everybody.